Hello Marathon residents, I'm Nate Custer with FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, and we are here in the Florida Keys to provide a wide range of help to the people who've had losses, have been impacted by Hurricane Irma. The first thing you need to do, however, if you haven't done it, is to register with FEMA. You won't be considered for any type of assistance until we know who you are and where you are. And here's how you register. It's pretty easy. If you can get online, go to disasterassistance.gov. That's disasterassistance.gov. If you don't have the capability to get online, maybe you can go to a library or you can use your smartphone or a friend's smartphone or computer. With the smartphone, you can download a FEMA app from either of the two main cell phone sites where you get apps. And with that FEMA app, you can go ahead and register. You also can use it to get information about what FEMA is doing. Once you register, you're going to get a call from a FEMA inspector. He or she is going to make an appointment and come out and look at just what damage you had. Now, it has to be to your principal residence. We don't provide assistance for damage to secondary or vacation homes. And because of all that's going on, not only here in Florida, but in Texas and down in the islands, it may take a while for you to get that call from the FEMA inspector because they've been extremely busy. When he or she calls, however, she'll make an appointment to come out and meet you at your residence and look over just what it is that happened to you from Hurricane Irma. And then the inspector will send in a report to FEMA. And if you do not have insurance or are underinsured, you may be considered on a case-by-case basis for some emergency home repair assistance. That can mean making your home safe, secure, and functional, fixing holes in the roof, holes in the wall, so you can have your family there while you continue having the full repairs made to your home. But at least you're in the home. It's not going to deal with every room in the home, but at least give you one bedroom, a kitchen, some electricity, and a place to live during the time that you're working on your long-term permanent recovery. FEMA is also considering, again on a case-by-case basis, temporary housing assistance for people who simply are out of their homes. Too much damage, they cannot stay there. They may have been staying with family or friends. They may have been camping out. Who knows what their situation is. But by registering with FEMA, you can be considered for temporary housing. The preferred method is rental housing. And if there is a lack of rental housing or it just doesn't work for your particular situation, FEMA can consider you to put you in a hotel at government expense. That again is a very temporary measure while you continue to work on a permanent housing recovery plan. Now, something else that comes into play, and a lot of people don't realize this, the Small Business Administration, the SBA, even though business is part of their name, they do low-interest disaster recovery loans, not just for businesses, but for homeowners and renters when you have a disaster declaration like we do have here in Florida. So it's important that you fill out a SBA disaster loan application, which most people will get in a packet once they register with FEMA. And once you're into FEMA, the SBA then also has your information. There are going to be some cases where, based on the information that people provide when they register, that they don't have the financial means to take on a loan, even though it's a low interest loan at less than 2% and can be extended out for many years. For those people who just can't handle an SBA recovery loan, the SBA automatically is going to refer you back to FEMA for what we call Other Needs Assistance, ONA for short. And that can mean funds for replacing furniture, vehicle repairs, clothing, a child's computer needed for school, tools needed for your job, things like that. Again, on a case-by-case basis. We do not duplicate insurance coverage, and sometimes, though, we do supplement insurance for people who are underinsured. Another thing to consider is register whether or not you have insurance, because as I just said, you may be underinsured, and the FEMA grant can really go a long way to helping you get back on your feet and getting you on the road to recovery. This registration process isn't going to go on forever. The deadline is going to be November 9th, so sooner than later is the way to do that, is to register with FEMA. We've got 4 disaster recovery centers that are open at this point 7 days a week, from 8 in the morning till 8 in the evening in the Florida Keys, ranging from Key West on Simonson Street at the fire station to Big Pine Key at the community center on Atlantis Avenue. We also have one here in Marathon at Community Park, where you can come in and get your questions answered, get some one-on-one help. We like to call these recovery centers places for immediate shopping, everything that can be handled, all the questions that you may have. The FEMA specialist can look up your registration application and see if there's any missing information, answer your questions. You may have received a letter from FEMA either saying you are not eligible to get a grant, or maybe the grant for those emergency home repairs is less than what you thought it should be. That's not the end of the line if you get such a letter. Those decisions by FEMA on amount of grants and whether or not to give you a grant, you can appeal. But go to a disaster recovery center and find out more about that. If you get such a letter, bring it with you. It could be a very simple matter, such as not having all your information into the system. Maybe some missing information. It may be that FEMA is waiting for a settlement from your insurance company before deciding on a grant. But again, the message now is to register with FEMA, disasterassistance.gov. Now, we have an 800 phone number, but that line has been extremely busy because of all that's been going on in Florida, Texas, and down in the islands. The 800 number is 800-621-3362. But you may have to wait on the phone a long time. I'm talking perhaps several hours. So the preferred method to get yourself registered with FEMA is to go to disasterassistance.gov. Now, people in Marathon, we want you to register with FEMA. We're doing all we can to try to assist you and to try to get you on the road to recovery and back to that great life that you enjoy here in Marathon in the Keys.